with October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I was thinking about my um, abusive relationship that I went through when I was in my early 20s. I think I was 20. I dated this person for like 3 years. But the thought that I was thinking is when I met this person, number one, he wasn't a stranger. We had dated in high school. Number two, I had a 3 month old son. Number three, I was not with my son's father because we had broken up when I was pregnant. So if you put all of those factors together, me being a young mother, me being a first time mother, me just having a baby and not being with the father, you can imagine where I was mentally and emotionally. I was down bad. I mean, come on, who expects to, not be with your child's father after the baby's born? It just my story didn't pan out how I thought it would pan out. And because this person wasn't a stranger, it wasn't like I was just meeting someone and just starting from scratch. So it kind of made it even all the more comfortable. But if I had been in a better place emotionally and spiritually, I would not have been in a relationship like that. So it's important that we're mindful of how we are feeling about ourselves when we go into a relationship as um and not so much how that person makes us feel when we're in a relationship. Because if you are feeling um, emotionally strong, mentally strong, your self-esteem is where it should be, then it's certain stuff you ain't gonna overlook. It's certain red flags that you're gonna be like, nah. But when you're not where you should be emotionally or spiritually, or even um, like, I don't know, who knows, I could have had postpartum depression. I don't know. I was a young mother, and it wasn't like I really had too much guidance on that because they didn't really talk about that. My son is 33 years old, so back then they didn't really talk about postpartum depression back then, like they do now. I think after that lady, Andrea Yates, unalived her kids in the bathtub, I think it was like 4 or 5 of them. I think that's when they really started putting more emphasis on speaking to women about postpartum depression. And I used to work at a gynecologist, and now after you have a baby, every time you come in through your postpartum visits, they make you fill out like a little questionnaire just so they can see where you are mentally, if you might be struggling, if you need help, so they can gauge that you're doing okay. But back then, they didn't do stuff like that. So with all of those factors that I had going on, I it's no wonder that I ended up, in that type of relationship. So it's important, no matter what your age, yeah, that happened when I was younger, but it doesn't matter. You can get into an abusive relationship at any age, any demographic. You could be educated, not educated. Race don't matter. Yeah, how much money you make don't matter. The letters behind your name don't matter. Anybody can fall victim to a abusive partner. So that's why I think it's very important that we are aware of where we are. Or am I even in a place where I need to be in a relationship? Do I need to step back from relationships and just work on myself? I that was like the furthest thing from my mind back then. But now, older me, more wiser me, that's what I would tell someone. Are you in a place where you even need to be in a relationship? Now, fast forward to when I met my husband, I was in a much better place mentally, physically, spiritually, and he was a good man. But if I was not in that place, I either, I could have overlooked it and just been like, nah, I ain't trying to be with Mr. Nice Guy. I'm used to the roughnecks. I don't even know if they say that word no more, but, you know, I was in a place where I wanted to be treated like a lady. I wanted someone to speak kind to me. I wasn't looking for all of that rah rah roughneck. No, I wanted a gentleman. I wanted somebody who was going to treat me like I deserve to be treated. So yeah, just a little thought, pay attention to where your mind is at, where your heart is at, and where your spirit is at before you start dating or when you get into a relationship, because those things can determine what type of relationship you end up in. All right?